What's up, everybody? How we doing out there in internet land? My name is Dustin Heveron, and you landed on the Speaking in Absolutes podcast. For those of you in the younger generation, a podcast is kind of like a Vine video, only much longer. Basically, we're going to go over some of the things I think, some of the things I wish I thought, and we're going to break it down. I'm going to tell you definitively how the world works. Welcome back, guys. How's everyone doing today? Pause for response. Just fill in your own answer. Good. I'm going to assume most of you said good. I'm doing well as well. Lots of fun stuff to talk about today, so let's dive right in. For starters, I'm about to alienate my entire audience by saying that I want to talk football real quick. I promise I will keep it fast because I know nobody likes to hear sports. For some reason, no one who follows me likes sports stuff, but I do. And we have to talk about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is coming up in just a couple of weeks. It's like a week and a half now, and it's going to be your Seattle Seahawks versus the New England Patriots. I almost just said the New England Patriots, which sounds like, hey, New England area bakers, if you don't already have a bake shop called the New England Patriots, you're welcome. That's idea number one. That one's a freebie, all right? I'm not going to charge for it. No, the Pats, the New England Patriots, and I have a love-love relationship with the Pats because my team is the Cincinnati Bengals, but they managed to pretty consistently either get eliminated in the first round of the playoffs or not make the playoffs at all. And so as a football fan, I've had to find myself with another team to root for come playoff time. And so usually the Pats are still in it. Plus, Tom Brady's a Michigan guy. I'm a big Michigan guy in college football. I love Bill Belichick. I think he's one of the best coaches ever. So I've got, there's like an amalgamation of things I enjoy about the Patriots. That said, they're playing the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And are they going to win? I don't know. The Seahawks, if you ask me, and it kills me to say this, the Seahawks have the better roster. They got more talent at more positions. They're younger and deeper and kind of more hungry, even though they just won. However, I think if anybody can get out there and find a way to actually destroy the Seahawks or at least keep up with them where it counts, it's going to be my boy Tom Brady and my older boy Bill Belichick. I'm not sure if older boy is like a fun or cool thing to say. These guys have been spinning gold out of straw on the football field for years, and he's just like Bill Belichick's just like a football crazy robot monster animal that all he understands is football. So if anyone's going to be able to find a way to actually take down the Seahawks, it's going to be Belichick. I'm calling it right now. So that said, my head pick is the Seahawks probably win by a couple of touchdowns. My heart pick says the Patriots, or the Patriots, as I'm starting to call them, might be able to win it by 4 or 5 or so. So we'll see. As usual, it's going to be not a battle between two football teams, but a battle between my heart and my head. And that's a metaphor for life, I think, kids. I'm not sure, though. If you figure it out, let me know. You can always hit me up at Don't Ask Dustin, all one word, no spaces, no hyphens, no nothing annoying like that, at gmail.com. You can find me at OCDustino on Twitter, or Instagram, or Tumblr, or you can find my proper blog, the WordPress blog, dustincharles.wordpress.com. And those are all great ways to pester me with your opinions, because your opinions matter, too. Just not as much as mine do. Moving onward, I saw American Sniper last weekend, the new Bradley Cooper movie where he goes out and he snipes things. He's American. I like a movie that has exactly what it is in the title, no guessing. And I've got some good news and some bad news, but just like if this was the staff evaluation at the H&R Block, I'm going to start with some good news and then lay into the bad news for you. The good news, Bradley Cooper acts the hell out of this movie. I know it's a real life part, and it's a real life person, obviously. So it's mostly inspired by true events, and all the big bullet points actually happened. Bradley Cooper became this person, became this individual. Watching his performance, he not only did he kind of take on a bit of a physical transformation, which I believe helps. He just in his eyes, you could see that he really kind of was this dude. And I know what you're thinking, Dustin. That's acting, right? You're an actor, aren't you supposed to kind of know that? But he just does it on such a different level and in such a different, more effective way that I think he absolutely deserves. I think I saw the Oscar noms came out last week as well, and I think he snuck in just in time for Oscar season to get what I believe is going to be a very deserved Oscar nomination. And honestly, I'd have to say my Oscar pick for Best Actor is got to be Michael Keaton for Birdman. But Bradley Cooper deserves to be in the conversation. He's in the conversation. He acts the shit out of that movie. By the way, I should tell you right now, this is my PG-13/R form of social media, so I keep it pretty clean on my Twitter and my Tumblr, my Instagram, and Facebook. You're gonna hear the occasional swear on here. I'm sorry, Mom. Don't listen. She raised me better than that. Please don't judge my mom for that. So that's the good part of American Sniper. Bradley Cooper, good. Everything else, not so good. The movie, for starters, it's a little too long, and I understand again it's based on the dude's autobiography, and so it probably hits a lot. I haven't read it, but I assume it hits a lot of the same bullet points. But as far as a movie, the pacing is just slow, and it feels like we see the same kind of scenes or vibes over and over again. And I just think that there's maybe a better way to show some of that stuff. His wife, Bradley Cooper's wife, is maybe one of those poorly screened leads women I've seen in a long time. Like, it's just such an issue when there's not a lot of, because it's a war movie, there's not a lot of female characters in it. And the one who's kind of the female lead is written so stereotypically and so naggy and annoying and just blah, that it breaks my heart, because I know, and again, I haven't read the autobiography, so maybe she really was like this in person, but she's a person, and I know and believe that there's more to her than just being the person who's nagging about, like, you're not a good father, you're not there for the kids, and those are all valid and true complaints, and none of this is like I'm not criticizing the person at all. I'm not criticizing the massive respect I have for all of our vets or anyone who served in our military. But I am saying, in terms of the movie and in terms of the Hollywood entertainment industry is already so white and male and kind of like sexist and misogynistic, that to have another female lead who's going to be in an Oscar contending movie and have her written just so poorly and so kind of like stereotypically and kind of almost outdatedly, it's just frustrating for me as a person. I get that she had valid concerns and that she may have been like that in real life, but like, we can't sacrifice one of the other kind of scenes that are a little bit repetitive and maybe put in something where she has like a little bit more to her than just being the sort of like naggy, stereotypical housewife, rolling pin in one hand and hair up with the towel kind of person. Like, I don't know her, but I believe there's more to her than that. And I think that the Hollywood public needs to start demanding to see full fleshed out characters like that, not just the ones we've kind of been fed for the past 50 to 100 years. But that's just me. That said, for as many war movies as I've seen and continue to come out, by the way, I saw Fury late last year. I highly recommend it if you want a war movie that's kind of done right, even though that one's not based on a true story. I still love it. I thought it was very well done. I will say the action and the intensity in American Sniper is right there. I've seen a lot of war and action movies, and it really, I could feel the anxiety and the terror and the kind of realness of a guy who's sitting there, with bullets literally whizzing by left and right. His friends are getting shot, and it brought that tension home for me, which I think is so important. One, because I think it's easy, as those of us who don't serve and haven't enlisted, to kind of just sit here and say like, oh, we get it, or it's whatever, or blah, blah, like we disconnect, or we forget what it's like. And we forget that this isn't a movie from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 50, 100 years. This is stuff that's happening right now. Chris's story, unfortunately, the gentleman passed away. But this is happening. Stories like this are happening all over. And anything we can do to kind of desensitize ourselves to that kind of thing, to kind of resensitize ourselves and be reminded, oh, yeah, that's right. Real men and women like you and me are out there giving their lives every day and risking everything, putting it all on the line every day, and we are, we're just sitting here playing Xbox, or we're sitting here going like, oh, Call of Duty, sweet. That said, Call of Duty is sweet, and I intend to play it with some friends very shortly. So that is my thoughts on American Sniper. The performance, great. The movie, only okay. And I expect this is the year where I think Hollywood really needs to step it up and start writing their women like actual people. Huh, what a concept. I just chugged that coffee. That was a long, disgusting break. For those of you who are on the podcast side of this, not the vodcast, I hope you got that nice chugging sound. That was not a sound effect. That is actually what I sound like when I drink, because I'm a monster. Moving right along, this is kind of a big football and just commercial time in general. Basketball's on, all these sports. And I gotta say, so there's a new round of smoking or anti-smoking commercials out there. Every 6 to 9 months, they bust these things out for us. And at this point, I feel like I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't smoke pot. I don't smoke crack. I don't smoke cigarettes. I don't, whatever. If it's smokable, I don't smoke it. The exception is on special occasions, bachelor parties and whatnot. I do smoke cigars. I don't think the cigar smoking 3 or 4 times a year crowd is exactly who they're targeting with these anti-smoking ads. I don't know. They might be. But this new set of ads come out, and at this point, they have a better chance of making me want to start smoking than to stop if I had been a smoker. Like, at this point, I'm so sick of seeing these things that I'm like, well, F it, I might as well just start taking up smoking, because at least then, like, I don't know, they would give up. Or maybe if it was like 100% of people who smoked, they'd be like, oh, okay, well, we tried, good effort. Like, when are they just gonna kind of give up? I'm tired of seeing like people with like the don't smoke, it didn't work for me, and dead bodies on the street and stuff. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to watch New Girl over here, and you're showing a pile of dead bodies in between for something I don't even do. Like, can't you at least like send mailers to like people who buy cigarettes? What it should be like, a YouTube ad. When you buy cigarettes, not only should it cost the $10 bucks, whatever the obscene amount of money that cigarettes cost these days for what they are, that's when you should have to sit through the 90-second ad of people going, I used to smoke, and she's like slowly pulling off body parts while she's doing it. They had to take off my ear, and they had to take off my tongue, and they had to take off my nose. Like, that's the time. That's the person you want, because this is the person who's there. He or she already wants it. They're looking to buy. Make them sit through it. But holy hell, don't make me sit through it when I'm just trying to have a nice meal at home with a couple people and watch the Grammys. I don't know. Moving along. Speaking of movies, jumping back briefly, we actually had, so I take questions, if you guys don't know. I try to take the more like light vodcast-worthy questions. Your questions of like, what's the meaning of life? While valid, are not necessarily the most entertaining fare for this YouTube medium. So I take your questions on here, and I try and answer them as I can. And the question I got this week was, what's the statute of limitations on spoiler alerts? That comes to us from Matt F. out of Encino. I think I wrote down Encino. That seems awfully close here. It might not be. So basically, like, what's the date? We all joke about spoiler alert and spoiler this and spoiler that. And no, don't tell me I haven't seen Godfather 3 because it came out 30 years ago. Don't tell me that Snape kills Dumbledore. By the way, that's a big spoiler if you haven't read the Harry Potter movies. If I just ruined Harry Potter, the books or movies for you, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't be getting your news from the Speaking Absolutes podcast anyway. Pastacast. Now there is something I would be into. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe they mail pasta to you with marinara. I don't know. Someone workshop that and get it back to me. I think, and I need to do some more hard research on this, but I'm going to go ahead and say that definitively 9 years is your spoiler alerts. I'm not saying there aren't movies that can be spoiled before that and it's okay. I'm saying once a movie hits 9 years old, it's almost a decade. It's been out for 9 years. It's been on Blu-ray. It's been on, that's when I don't have to feel guilty anymore. Which actually, can someone Google what year the movie where Snape kills Dumbledore, whatever Harry Potter movie that is? I think it's like 5 or 6 or 7, one of those last few ones. Google that and let me know if it's been 9 years so I'm in my own parameters. No, because you've got the movie. The movie comes out. It's in theaters for 3 months, let's say. Another 6 months after that, it's going to come out on DVD, Blu-ray, digital release. Another year or two, or a couple years, 2.5 years or so after that, another year after that, it's on your cable stuff, your HBOs, maybe like some of your premium channels, your on-demand channels have got it. Then another couple years after that, you've got it on broadcast television. So now you're talking about when a movie's on TBS at 11 in the morning, just scrolling through, or when it's the Harry Potter weekend, I'm no longer responsible for keeping that movie's secrets. Okay, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to have it complained. Don't have to worry about ruining your day or getting called out for a movie that is being interspiced with the McCarthys or whatever the terrible shows on TBS these days. If I'm watching a Friends rerun from 15 years ago, right before The Matrix comes out, I should be able to tell you that Neo wins in the end. I'm saying 9 years. 9 years gets you past that whole window. By the time it's at 9 years, you're done. Tell your friends 9 is the number. Tweet me if you think I am wrong or if you've got a better number. I, of course, am not wrong. But, it's interesting to hear other opinions every once and again. That is about all the time we have today. Let's see, I took a question, talk sports, movies, all that good stuff. So check back in with us. We're going to dip out for now. Thanks for your time and your patience. I do this thing where I talk in the third person or like in like on here. It's just me. It's just a microphone, a computer, iPhone, little camera thing, and this little mug. There is no we. However, that said, we, the collective version, we do Speaking Absolutes about every other week or so, as often as we can. I do the vodcast. I do an extended version for the podcast because people who are actually downloading audio-only podcasts probably don't have anything better to do anyway. Just kidding. I love you, Mom and Aunt Edna. So check us out there. I'm all over the place, and let me plug on my socials one more time. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr at OCDustino. I'm on Facebook if you still use Facebook. I'm on dustincharles.wordpress.com is my proper blog. You can find me however you need to find me. You can email me your questions at don'taskdustin@gmail.com. I'll always preserve you as much of your anonymity as possible. And that's about it, man. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you're out there rocking and rolling. And go Pats, all right? We'll talk to everybody real soon. That's Speaking in Absolutes, and I am going to sit here while the music slowly fades out. Bye, y'all.